All right. Welcome, everybody, to the final round of Pitch MENA Live before we transition into our Shark Tank style pitches for real money. If this is your first time tuning in, you're watching American Idol meets Shark Tank for MENA-focused startups. I'm your host, Andrew Berkowitz. I'm the host and executive producer of the Global Startup Movement. And today we have the final four of our pitch competition. We've had 4 weeks of competition leading up to today, and we have contestants that are prepped and ready to go. And again, just so you guys know that we are live, let me show you my phone real quick. You could see at the top right there, it's 8:45 Eastern Standard Time, 5:48 Dubai time. All right, guys, so we're about to get right into it. Here is where we are at. We have had 16 teams competing for these 4 spots in the final 4. And I mean, look how beautiful this is, guys. We have representation from Saudi, Palestine, Dubai, and Israel. This is a really cross-regional representation and was absolutely not planned. But it really goes to show just how deeply powerful of a unification force entrepreneurship is and can be for the region. I'm much more excited about the thought of living in the world run by entrepreneurs than by our current crop of politicians. I mean, like, just imagine if we had Queen Joy Ajlani running the MENA region. Imagine what kind of world that would be. And so, as you all know, who have been following me for a while now, I really try my best to make this a democratized platform and to really provide a voice to entrepreneurs who usually, don't get it. And in that spirit, we actually opened up a poll for our email list subscribers to vote in a fan favorite to be our 5th participant today. And so that means instead of 2 finalists moving on out of 4, we're going to be having 3 finalists moving on out of 5. So each contestant now has a 10% better chance of participating as a finalist in our Shark Tank format. So guys, let's get some likes and comments going for that extra 10%. And while you're doing that, I'll give a little drum roll. So the fan favorite is Dosat. Dosat's a Palestinian and Israeli startup aiming to reach hundreds of thousands of people across the Arab world and provide them with tools that help improve their health and nutritional choices and the health of their families and communities. So congrats to Dosat. Really looking forward to having you with us today. So guys, if you haven't been tuning into our concurrently running podcast mini-series, we have just gone live this past Tuesday with all 6 episodes. So all 6 can be listened to for free by searching for the Global Startup Movement on your favorite podcast app. And by the way, guys, people are loving the series. I don't know if you can see this. This text is pretty small. This is an email I got from a speaker at our virtual conference this morning. She listened to some of our episodes. She found the content outstanding and so inspiring. We love to see that. We love to hear that. And I love reading your guys' comments in the YouTube channel. So again, guys, this is all culminating on Tuesday with a super fun, interactive virtual conference. We are going to have speakers ranging from the topics of women leadership in the region. We're going to have a debate format where we're going to question, should we be investing in more social programs or more private sector SME and startup funds in the region, and many more things, including 2 Shark Tank style pitch from the finalists today. But guys, since we have 5 teams pitching, I want to get right into things to ensure we have time. So first off, I'm going to bring up Queen Joy Ajlani to the stage. Joy, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Queen Joy, is that?
Well, you're too kind. You're too kind, Andrew, but really sweet. Outspoken Joy, for sure.
Yes.
But I'll take Queen. Somebody's got to call me Queen. I appreciate it.
I think Forbes called you the startup queen, right? Or was that someone else?
Yeah, I think it was. Was it Forbes or was it CNN? I don't know, one of those. But
same thing.
I'm very grateful to be called something as nice as that. So thanks.
Right. Well, and now, like, just in the spirit of fairness, I have to bring up King Abe. Just to be fair and give everyone titles.
Yes.
Abe, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. And I'm about to pull a huge plot twist on you guys. You know, I've been hosting this. You guys think I'm just some podcast host, but no, guys, I'm actually I'm an expert. I would say that I'm an expert on, you know, startups and tech. And so I'm actually gonna be the surprise judge for today. I feel like, you know, like Darth Vader pulling off the mask and be like, no, I am your father. So we're gonna have a lot of fun today, guys. I see you in the comments. We got a lot of love for Dosat as always in the comment. Go Dosat, go Dosat, go Dosat. We have some Algoru fans. Welcome. All right, guys, again, so we have a lot to do today, 5 startups. And so we are going to get right into it. Let's see. I definitely want to go ladies first. So Monica, I'm going to bring you to the stage. Feel free to share your screen, and then we'll get right into Team Finlect's pitch. Welcome to the stage, Monica.
Thank you, Andrew. Are you able to see my screen?
Let me bring it up. All right. And again, guys, today's format is 8 minutes for each team. So the teams button up their pitches from the last time that they were on. And they're also going to be including a product demo as well this time. So really excited to see some of the products that the teams are going to be demoing today. Monica is first up. So Monica, I will give you the floor in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Andrew. Hi, guys. My name is Monica. I'm the COO of Finlect. Finlect is a financial wellness app for Gen Zs to build credit, pre-qualify for financial products, and basically automate and manage their expenses. The world of banking has dramatically evolved. Banks have great infrastructure, technology, and even the best people. Yet 1/3 of the MENA region is unbanked. These are individuals who are financially active, eligible for financial services, and actually want better products. Unfortunately, they don't fit the age-old qualification boxes that have been set up by banks and credit bureaus. In addition to this, the existing solutions are far too overwhelming and complex for this demographic. All of this, coupled with the significant lack of financial literacy, is the reason why MENA's largest demographic is still out of the ecosystem. But what if we build a bridge between these young customers and financial service providers? Well, that's exactly what Finlect does. We enable the next generation of consumers to become more credit-worthy and make smarter financial choices. The app allows its users to build credit and pre-qualify for the right financial products, manage and categorize their expenses, and learn using the bite-sized financial content feature. In addition to this, users can actually link their bank account to the app in an attempt to improve the accuracy of us tracking their financial health. All of this has been enabled by our strategic integrations with leading API providers such as LeanTech and Dabby. So really, how does this work? Instead of taking the age-old approach of the traditional method that credit bureaus and banks take, Finlect takes into account your recurring micropayments, your in-app activity, and your budgets. We understand that this demographic does not have big incomes, a history of credit, and or any credit utilization on their board. So this is why we want to disrupt and bring that barrier lower and give these young customers access to better financial products. Serving or banking 300 million Gen Zs in the MENA region is an $80 billion market. And we're excited to come in and tap into this. Just our local launch market, which is the UAE, has over 1.4 million Gen Z. As for the competitive landscape, we're competing directly with US-based credit scoring platforms such as Credit Karma, CreditWise, and of course, local credit bureaus such as the AECB. It's important to note that this segment of the fintech space is very fragmented. Everybody's taking an either-or approach. What really defines us or makes us stand out, especially for the customer, is our singular focus on solving their financial needs in this specific target market, while also taking a holistic approach by giving them access to both smart financial tools, a credit scoring algorithm, and the right content to help them not just build and monitor, but also boost the score. Before we get into more details, I'd like to take you through a quick product demo video.
Managing money is time-consuming, difficult, and well stressful. Discover the simple truth about money with Finlect. You can now build better credit scores more easily for free. You can do it as many times as you like. You can continue to raise with monitoring your micropayments, credit mix, budgets, credit utilization, and points to boost your score. Hold on, points? Yep, you've got that right. You earn points for each financial win with Finlect. We celebrate your progress with rewards that help you save even more. What's more, you can now track all of your expenses, borrowings, and income, and set up and monitor budgets in one place with Finlect. We keep you in control of the wheel, so you know exactly what's in your pocket. Bring mindfulness to money with Finlect. Finance? Oh yes, you can.
I hope that gave you a clear idea of what the product looks like and what its capability is. So here's how we're making money. We directly charge banks for the licensing and the recurring fee of our credit scoring feature. In addition to this, we offer them a place or a marketplace to present their financial products and take a 5% commission for every product that our customer is pre-qualified for. Since our launch in April 2020, we've built a community of 12,000 early adopters, and we're proud to say that we've seen a 30% increase on a month-on-month basis in the engagement that we have with these customers. Even though we don't have tons of historical data to really back what our projections look like in terms of customer acquisition, our two-pronged approach is to solely increase our lifetime value of the customer and decrease the customer acquisition cost. We're projecting a solid decrease from $10 to $4 for acquiring a customer in a 1-year span, and increase the lifetime value from $240 to over $440 in the same 1-year period. We're basically looking to become the one-stop shop for financial wellness for any young person in this demographic. We're moving forward, we're expanding or scaling up our pre-qualification within the app by introducing a virtual card that allows these young customers to not just pay cashless, but also boost their credit score. All of our tech, content, and design has been built in-house, and we have a solid team of 8 members. We're all experienced with over 25 plus years in the field of financial institutions, fintech, and financial services. In addition to this, individually, we have over 25 plus years of experience in not having access to the right financial products. And this is what truly makes us best positioned to solve this problem. I'd love to take any questions. Thank you.
Great job, Monica. So we're going to go right into some questions right after the pitch for each contestant. So I'm going to bring Joy and Abe to the stage. Monica, I guess my first question is, how did you guys calculate the TAM?
So we basically took the total population of the MENA region, and we divided that by the number of by the penetration of mobile users in the market. And of course, we factored in the ARPU and multiplied that. So that's how we received our TAM.
Got it. I would definitely put that on the slide, just like, I guess, be more clear exactly, and maybe even niche down a little bit more and focus in on who exactly your ideal user is, because I think the TAM is a little bit broad.
All right.
Yeah. Joy, I love your watch, by the way. Whoa, that's a cool watch.
Just as a, sorry, great watch, Joy, sorry, but just as a clarification. So our customer, when we say Gen Z, is anybody in the age group of 15 to 25 that resides in the MENA region. So that's our folks group.
Got it. Cool. And Joy, you're on mute, by the way.
Okay. Now I'm back on. So Monica, one of my questions is, in the United States, everybody has a social security number, right? So you are tracked, even if you buy a pack of gum, literally, right? Your credit score is very clear. Whether you open up a new credit card, every time you use a credit card, all that information goes into a credit score, like Credit Karma, right?
Yeah.
So my question to you is that, how do you tie all that information to come up with a credit score? Because I'm a little confused as to, what makes you come up with a credit score? Because it seems like it's a credit score that you guys have come up with, like if you save money, if you pay your rent, like what is the algorithms behind coming up with this credit score? And who does it really serve? Because, who does the credit score serve? Like in the United States, it serves somebody if you're buying a car, I can take a look and see how financially stable you are, and then I will give you a loan. So I think my question is, who does it serve?
Right. So let me answer your first question first, right? So as the process of the onboarding on the Finlect app is that we ensure that every customer does an initial KYC, which is something that mimics what a bank would do traditionally. In addition to that, what happens in the local market with, let's say, a local credit bureau such as the AECB, is that they factor in your income, your credit utilization, and your credit history to calculate this credit score. What we do is mimic that at a micro level. So we understand what is the income that you are exposed to, what is your stipend or monthly cash in hand, and you can track that using the app, either by linking your bank account or making manual check-ins. To mimic the credit utilization, what we do is we say, what kind of budgets are you creating and how well are you using those budgets? So we don't just make it easy for the customer to gain points and improve their credit score. We ensure that they're using the optimum amount of their budget on a regular basis so that, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So that the user or the young adult is getting a feel of what the actual credit scoring algorithm looks like. In addition to this, what we're doing is we're giving them access to financial content that educates them on how to manage this process in a seamless manner instead of aimlessly, let's say, a 21-year-old wanting a personal loan, just like what you said, or maybe an auto loan, which is the most common that they request for here, going to the AECB, getting a credit score that's below average, and then actually harming their current credit score, waiting another 6 months and reapplying. So essentially with Finlect, they get a projection of what their credit score is going to look like and what they need to do to maintain it to achieve their financial goals in time. So I hope that answers your question.
But who utilizes this credit score? In other words, is it like in the United States, credit score is used for buying a home, buying a car, buying a boat, a loan. So if you're getting a loan here, is it used by banks?
Yes, exactly. So banks essentially what they do in the local markets is that they fetch your credit score from the AECB and just spit it out and use that to give you your loan percentages or your offers, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of doing that, what we're saying is use the Finlect simulated score in addition to a layer of understanding what young customers are consuming and what their behavioral patterns are, and give them the financial products or pre-qualify them for the financial products that they truly deserve and need. So that's the disruption.
But where a credit score is in the United States, you have no control over what your credit is. I feel like with your app, you can actually gamify it in a way, right? Because if you're doing certain steps, you'll have a higher credit score. Where credit score elsewhere is you have no control over it whatsoever, right? It's
right.
So I think Joy, what Monica's trying to relay is, people can they're training people, or they're training that generation how to better spend their money. Essentially, that's what the app is all for.
Yeah.
And if the banks can use it, to
evaluate their customers.
But that's essentially, there's two sides of this business. And I think, I think it's not really, they're not creating a credit score. They're just creating that whole educational gap between that sector of population and that. So
it's not just about bridging that educational gap which is existing in the financial literacy aspect, but it's also about bridging the gap of actually getting them the financial products that they need and in time. So instead of, like I said, turning 25 and realizing that you have no credit history or no track record of your expenses, now with Finlect, you're capable to go to a bank and say, hey, look, I have a credit history, I have this credit score, and I'm capable or to get the best rates at whatever services you're providing to me.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess it's a question of whether the bank actually like I guess what their perception of that number that they're being provided with is. Like the credit score problem across Africa and the Middle East, like that's a multi-billion-dollar problem to solve. And yeah, if you can pull in external data sources, if you can find ways to pull data from the phone, like aggregating a credit score, like that's huge.
So just two quick notes on that. So point number one is through the Finlect app, every single screen that the user is using is collecting an average of 15 data points, right? So this is how we understand what the customer is using. Another thing is this whole having data and using those models to build an accurate credit score is like a loop. So what we've done to break that loop and really, rapidly make that improvement is we're working with telco providers, with banks, and with the AECB actually to get that data to improve our credit scoring element and increase that accuracy so that it justifies, what the app is capable of.
Awesome. Well, great job, Monica. We're going to move on to the next. I'm going to bring Khalid from Algoru on, and we actually have we have a battle going on in the comments right now. We have Hytham shouting Guru, we have Dina shouting Dosat, and then we have Hytham clapping back. So guys, if you guys are interacting with us in the comments, I can bring it up here on the screen to make sure that everyone's voice and opinion is included. Khalid, I'm going to bring you on. I'm going to start your time. Are you good to go, Khalid?
I'm good to go. Just let me know if you can see the screen, and I'll be ready.
Cool. Yeah. If you can share your screen, I'll bring it up. All right. I'm going to kick you off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
So hello everyone. We spend almost 1/3 of our life studying in educational institutions, from KG, schools, universities, and then postgraduate programs, if any. If one thing's for sure about this fact is that education has never been more significant to our lives. What's even as important for parents and students nowadays is maintaining high academic standings, which is frequently attained by tutoring, an experience that individualizes basically complementary supportive education outside typical classroom lectures. But what problem in tutoring are we exactly trying to solve? To date, students and parents still struggle to find a tutor when they need academic support. Additionally, many students, as you're probably aware, find difficulty solving a homework they might have due in a day or probably two. Imagine you want to hire a private tutor for your 12-year-old kid who's having a hard time with his grade 8 science. You don't have a platform to find specialized tutors for, your kid's school doesn't have a tutoring center, and you have no other option but to seek your WhatsApp network and ask them for referrals for tutors, which limits you and prevents you from asking about the tutor's background, actually. So what we're doing is we're simplifying this for all of them. We're Uberizing the tutoring industry by facilitating the matchmaking process between students on one hand and tutors on another hand on a mobile application. To us, a student is anyone eager to learn, regardless of the level they're in, being school or universities. And a tutor is anyone smart enough to share their knowledge with that student, regardless if they've offered tutoring before or they haven't. We started our operations in Lebanon earlier in 2018 and recently expanded to Saudi with the objective of organizing the chaotic tutoring market we have in the MENA region. And to date, our solution is impacting the students' academic performance at schools and universities, which is verified by almost 88% of our customers who reported an increase in their grades after using our services. Our product, as you can see it in front of you, offers convenience and ease of use for our users. Students or their parents can find and compare different tutor profiles, rates, bios, read reviews, and book a session instantly on the application, or even choose to book or to post their assignment to have an educator help them and support them with it instantaneously on the application. While, on the other hand, tutors can use our application to manage their tutoring businesses and services by setting their own hourly rates, by setting their own schedules flexibly, by chatting with the students, and by even tracking their sessions and earning all through our application. Just in case you're wondering, our tutors are highly dependable educators. While you don't need to be an experienced tutor to join our community, we look at basic things like grades and communication skills before vetting you in. This allows us to vet and guarantee our tutors' caliber before displaying their profiles, of course, to students on our platform, whom, if weren't satisfied with the tutor or their teaching style after meeting with them, can receive the session free of charge and without having to pay a dime. The market in the MENA region specifically is extremely appealing. In Saudi Arabia, for example, alone, we target a $500 million untapped market with more than 400,000 addressable users that have an estimated CLV of $1,200. Aside, of course, from the fact that demand for tutoring in the GCC area specifically is extremely high, as estimated by regional education reports like McKinsey and the World Bank. As for our model and how we generate revenues, well, it's very simple. Our profit comes from a 15% fee that we charge the student with on every hour booked through our application. And as mentioned earlier, tutors are free to set their own hourly rates on the application without having us interfere in any of that. So till this stage, we're not charging them anything for that. But as we scale, we plan to offer packages for students and reconsider freemium solutions for our tutors for scalability. As for the why us, why now questions, well, COVID and the educational shift from offline to online played a significant role in the global and noticeable demand increase that the global tutoring market witnessed in 2020 alone, which we surely, for us, took into our advantage and used to validate the need of our business in the market and improve our product correspondingly to make it fit to the new needs of students, their parents, and to the tutors, of course. Our competitors in the markets are freelancers, early stage startups, and even growing companies in the Saudi market. What's actually setting us aside, what's actually setting us off aside from the personalized experience that we're giving the students are the distinguishable features that we have developed on our platform and application, which match exactly what students want from a one-stop tutoring shop when searching for a private tutor. In addition to the fact that we're literally the cheapest when it comes to affordability in the tutoring industry. To date, we have matched hundreds of students with alike tutors and grew at an average of 15% every month on month. And believe it or not, we made all these numbers through WhatsApp because we didn't have enough cash to hire developers during our early days. But now, after successfully bootstrapping and raising an initial pre-seed investment at our early stages, we consider to have developed an IP of this company behind the team. We're 9 talents, fully dedicated, working from 6 different countries actually, and basically we're building everything in-house when it comes to tech, and we're building everything in-house when it comes to marketing and sales. Of course, up to date, we have been accelerated by one of the most prominent accelerator programs in the region, incubated by one of them as well, and featured on several other channels. And thank you for this opportunity. Just before I wrap things up, I just want to have a quick demo for our application, a live one actually from a video. So as you're going to see, a user, as in a student here, can access the platform very easily, search for the course or the subject that they want to find a tutor for. For instance, in my example here, I'm looking for marketing principles at PMU, one of the universities in Saudi. I'm gonna jump onto this page and I'm gonna search and find the different tutors that are offering this course through the platform and through the application. I will then have the ability to compare the different profiles that I have in front of me. Then after choosing Iman, for example, I'll read a bit about her degree and summary and bio, check her prices, book based on the availabilities that she had posted through the application, and then right off, I can just confirm my booking and my session, choose between online or offline session, and that's it. The session is booked immediately on the application. As for the tutors on the other end, as we're going to see in a second, all of the application is done and processed through all of their application to join us as tutors, of course, is done through our mobile app. So here we're still seeing that the student can chat with the tutor, and basically they can take off with their session and with the questions and inquiries all through the one-stop shop that we spoke about. On the other end, again, for the tutors, they can apply and join us by basically attaching and submitting their application through our mobile app, attach all the necessary documents that they want, put their availability, add the courses that they wish to cover on the application, and of course, price it flexibly, as well as answer a few questions so that we can assess their communication skills. And within a matter of 24 to 48 hours, we get the chance to vet their profile and then add them on the application, where of course they can manage all their tutoring services in one-stop shop. So thank you again, and back to you, Andrew, I guess.
Sorry, I was muted. Going to bring Joy and Abe to the stage. So Kyle, my first question, actually, my first startup way back in the day is called Tradeversity, was a university marketplace. And the biggest issue we faced was the fact that at most, we would get someone for 4 years and then they graduate. right? And then they drop off the platform. And so we were spending all this money, and we were burning that cash into essentially a leaky bucket, right? Because eventually the students graduate and move on. Is that something you are concerned with, or do you feel like you have kind of a product roadmap where you have an engagement strategy for students to be lifelong learners after they graduate?
So actually, Andrew, the lifespan of our users differs from one user to another. So for school students, for example, we target school students that are age 12 plus, right? This is when they start seeking tutoring support. University students have a shorter lifespan of 3 years. That's it. We know that. But what we're trying to do actually is also focus on postgraduate programs, workshops, or other academic related materials. So you graduate today from university, you're an accountant, for example, and you want to take your CPA level 1 or level 2 or whatever it is. You want to find a tutor for that. You want to find a tutor. You want to find someone who can help you go into the consulting industry, for example. These are things that we might consider down the pipeline. We're not offering them at the stage, but as you can realize and as you can imagine, the options are countless when it comes to tutoring and when it comes to education. Briefly.
Yeah, got it. That makes sense. And I have another question, unless Joy or Abe, you guys have one.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay. I guess it's more around the like specifically with customer acquisition strategy. Like, is direct partnerships with educational institutions something you guys have explored? Because if you're able to directly partner with universities or with some sort of public sector entity and have a direct pipeline of students into it, that could probably seriously bring down your CAC. Is that something you guys have explored or tested, or yeah?
So this is definitely the primary distribution channel that we're aiming for. This is non-digital, of course. We're talking about direct partnership with universities. We have been in contact with one of the top universities in the regions, like AUB and LAU in Lebanon, and like KAUST and PMU in Saudi. Nothing is signed yet, but of course we're on the way to do that, given the fact that, of course, the shift and the increase, as I mentioned in the pitch, for tutoring has increased. Universities that don't have tutoring centers will definitely want to basically cooperate with us as we bring to them a full database of highly vetted and qualified tutors.
That makes sense. Yeah, my only concern there is the sales cycle. The sales cycle with these universities could, 1, 2, 3 years maybe.
Probably, yeah.
For universities, but for schools, it's much longer, as I mentioned.
Yeah. Can I ask you as well, like how often do you guys get the other side, like not the supply side, not the students, but actually the mentors or the tutors?
The tutors.
You know what I mean? Like, so what, like, how many applications do you guys usually get? What's their onboarding time? Like, how fast can you scale that up?
So everything is digitized on our dashboard, Abe. So once the tutor, as we saw from the demo, submits their application, it takes us a matter of 24 to 48 hours at most to get notified, to screen their application, and to either vet them in, have them have their profile show on the application or not. What's different basically is when we launch campaigns to recruit tutors. So we're trying to balance off between demand and supply. We don't want to have always surplus of demand or either surplus of supply. So we don't want to have tutors on the application not giving any tutoring sessions. And this is basically reflected on the campaigns that we're launching either online or offline when we want to recruit new tutors. So I hope that answered your question.
It did. I have a couple other questions, but maybe we'll take that offline. I don't know exactly how much those cost, but I'm good for that.
Sure.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next pitch. Great job, Khaled. And I feel like I have to bring Jack. I have to bring you up. You're getting so much love in the comments. You got the whole army there as usual. All right, so give me 1 second.
I'm afraid to vote against you. Then he's gonna send. He's gonna
get a mob at your house.
Yeah.
So ticketing, like the Capitol.
Yeah. All right, so Jack, share your screen, and then I'll bring that up here. Then we'll kick you off.
Oh, sounds good.
All right, Dina wins the award of most active commenter. Oh yeah, yeah. See, there you go.
There you go.
All right, so you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The stage is yours.
So Dosat, guys. So let's introduce Dosat. Dosat is a social integrated e-commerce platform with a vision of enabling every e-commerce entrepreneur to have all the resources available to reach their maximum potential. We are trying to enhance the shopping experience in the region by not only linking the seller and the buyer together, but actually introduce the social features into the e-commerce experience. So, and as we thought on our last pitch, that is actually where Instagram meets Amazon, bringing all the social features into the e-commerce field. So after studying the problem and studying the market, what we found is 90 to 95% of online sellers in the MENA region sell on social media platforms. And that's when we ask ourselves why. And the answer was for the lack of other options. Number two, since e-commerce is a new field here, like it's like, now it's getting popular. Some online sellers, they do not have the know-how. And that's where Dosat's trying to come in. There was also a huge gap in logistics from partners and also from sellers on how to deal with logistics with their from delivery to cash collections and all these kind of things. And problem number 4 was that the amount of money they have to put on social media to expose themselves and expose their products in order to make orders. And that's where Dosat came in. Dosat provides an app for these sellers to be able to sell online and manage their shops fully. Also, Dosat provides all logistic solutions and consultancy in e-commerce, plus all marketing solutions that an e-commerce or online seller needs to be able to sell independently. So let's take a look at our product here. I'll be explaining the way the app works. So we have launched about 4 months ago, and today that's where we got to. So first, if we look at the feed here, this is where we integrate the social aspect into e-commerce, so we can tag each other and like the products by the sellers. We can also follow our favorite sellers from this feed. On the second tab here, this is the pure e-commerce screen here where we sell used, new products. We focus on them for the sellers, and we sell over 16 categories. If we look at the product details screen, that's all the details for the product here to make it all under one place. On this tab here, we can search our favorite sellers by category and interest, and we can also follow them from there. So we can always see their new products. Adding a product is so easy on Dosat. Click on the camera, choose the category, enter very few details. It takes you less than 30 seconds to add a product on Dosat. Boom, it's out there. That's the seller's shop. The seller can be followed and can follow their favorite customers. They can manage their orders and by accepting, confirming, canceling their orders, and they can edit their profile. And lastly, if I visit someone's shop, that's how I see their shop. I can follow them from there. I can view all their products, and I can also filter and sort their products. Our product roadmap, currently we're working on in-app chatting, so sellers and buyers can always chat. Buyers can ask the question they want and get all information they need about the products. We're adding a loyalty program to be able to give incentives and subsidies to our sellers and buyers. And we also are adding our geolocations, so buyers and sellers can track where their orders are. Are they delivered or not? Our numbers. So we have launched in October of 2020. However, let me talk about the numbers and how they grew since our last pitch. Last pitch was about 2 weeks ago. On our last pitch, we were at 20,000 installs, 1,200 orders, 1,100 sellers, and $50,000 worth of sales. Today, we have grew the number of installs by 25% to reach 25,000. We have also grown our orders by 17% to reach 1,400 orders. We have also grown our sellers by 32% to reach 1,450 sellers. And lastly, we have grown our sales to $75,000 from $50,000. That's a 50% increase since our last pitch. More numbers. Retention rate. So since launch, which is October, about 4 months ago, we were able to calculate our retention rate to be 15%. Average card value of $62. Conversion rate of 1.5%. Total orders of 1,400. 7-cent CPI. $93 lifetime value of our customer. Customer acquisition cost $4.5. Cost per sale $3. Average items per cart were 3 items, and active seller rate 24%. Active seller rate are the sellers that at least sold 1 order with us since we have launched. Our revenue model, we are trying to stay on a very small profit margin. We're going to be charging 10% with a ceiling of $40 max. So when the seller has reached $40 of their fees to Dosat, we will stop charging them that month. And the reason why we are trying to put a ceiling, because we truly consider social media, Facebook and Instagram are free, and they are our main competitors. So we are trying to make it as cheap as possible to the sellers. Our financials, we're looking to raise about $500,000 for the coming 18 months to be able to deploy these funds actually for product, enhance our product by 30%, boost our marketing by 40%, enhance our logistics by 10%, and expand to a new market. And thank you guys so much. Here's our beautiful team. Thank you guys.
All right, fantastic job, Jack. So I'm going to bring Joy and Abe back on. Joy is the foremost e-commerce expert here, so I'm going to let her do her thing. But real quick, I have one question. You mentioned 40K in sales. Is that like total sales on the platform, or is that your revenue?
So total transactions on the platform. So we are freemium for the sellers. We have made $75,000 worth of sales since we have launched for the sellers.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay. And then before I hand over to Joy, I think that you really need to take away that ceiling. I believe most e-commerce platforms, like they make their money off their power users, right? So like if you have, your top 1% of users making 60-something% of all the transactions, which typically, is what happens. You don't want to cap that,
Yeah.
No.
People will pay for it if you're getting them business, they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
It's the little guy that doesn't sell. That's the person you don't want to charge, right? So
right. That definitely makes sense. But our point is we are trying this year in the phase of proof of concept. We're trying our best to show our value to these sellers, to these customers. And once we are solid, still now we are freemium. We're not trying to charge until we have the value. And as you said, once we have the value and once we have the power, I'm so sure we might remove the ceiling. So it's not final for sure. And we are just trying to see the acceptance so we don't lose our sellers and their product.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense in the early days. And I like what you do and I don't like what you do for kind of the same reason. And that reason, like we had, Ronaldo Mushakwar on the podcast that we interviewed. And, one of the reasons that, Souk and Amazon are super focused on the markets that they are is because there's a very heavy investment when it comes to infrastructure. And like Joy knows how difficult, if you do want to handle delivery yourself, the last mile, like it's tough. It's really expensive.
Right.
But at the same time, I was saying, by the same time, like Souk and Amazon are not focused on the markets that you're focused on.
Right.
So that's an interesting.
That's also where we see our value proposition comes in, and introducing the social aspect into e-commerce, not only to make it fun for the buyer. It only, if you're a seller and you're trying to register to sell on Amazon, especially if you're from this region, it's really hard. It's really difficult. Lots of forms, lots of things. Our vision is to make it as easy as possible. If you're selling from home, from school, from university, from your office, to be able to do so without going through the whole process, right? So that's where we're trying to come in. We're trying to create sellers within 2-3 minutes. If you have products, you have resource of products, even if you drop ship, you can sell on Dosat and make money. We're trying to market ourselves, not only that platform that you go in and just leave. We're trying to market ourselves just like how Uber. If you have your own car, you can drive your own car, you can make money on your own time, you're on your own car. That's how we're trying to do with Dosat. If you have your smartphone, you can sell anything you want, even your old dresses in the closet. You can sell them and make money on Dosat. If you need $200, $300, $400, $500 extra a month, we want you to be able to make this on Dosat, even if you're not an online seller. You know what I mean? And that's a bit different than Amazon, and that's where our social aspect comes in.
Okay.
Got it. And I saw, so do you have like a stories feature? Is that what I saw at the top of the screen?
Yeah. So what we're trying to do, just like how Instagram created influencers, what we're trying to do is create self-influencers. So if I'm a seller on Dosat, I have lots of followers, I'm popular, and you, Andrew, want to sell your laptop, you can talk to me on the side. I can, self-influence it on my story. And if I sell it for you, probably you can make 10%, 20% of it. But that's between us outside of Dosat. Just like influencers on Instagram, we're trying to do self-influencers.
Got it. Cool. I have more questions, but Joy, Joy just put the glasses on, so I know things are about to get super serious. Joy, I don't know if you have any. You're on mute, by the way.
Look, there is a company in the States that IPO'd that basically allowed everybody to download their stuff. And I'm trying to think of the name of the company, but they IPO'd in the United States. It was basically a place where everybody had all their used items to just go up there and you just literally search. And I can't think of the name of the company.
Did it let go?
Huh? No, they IPO'd. I think the guy's name was called Menhish. It was called AdMob. Anyway, I can't think of the name of the company. I'll have to remember it. But I think you guys are having a little bit of an identity crisis. I think you're onto something, but I don't think that you've quite got it yet. So we can talk about this, Jack. Like at Fetcher, we had a product called Seller, which allowed anyone on social media to check out with a link.
Okay.
So it was called Seller, SCLLR, and basically any social media, whether it's Facebook or even WhatsApp, you just give somebody the link and it gives you an opportunity to check out. It was a checkout platform for social media. Interesting.
Right. It's very interesting, but and that's where we come in with the logistic support after. So that's where we call ourselves beyond the app.
Well,
Even if you're on social media, you don't take that support from like logistic support, especially as that we talked about cash on delivery in the region here. That problem with cash on delivery.
Look, I think you're on to something. I just think you need to narrow in on it a little deeper. We can talk about this from my own experience, but I don't think you've got it quite yet because you're having success in your area, right? Mm-hmm. Do I think that you're a global thing? I think you can be, but I do think that you need to focus in on what your value proposition is. I mean, you're doing really well right now because you're in Ramallah. You haven't gone out to other areas. Are you in Jerusalem and all these other areas? Or
we're only in Ramallah. We're in Palestine, Israel. So we like our operations application. It's all over Palestine.
Okay, it's all over. Okay.
Yeah. So we go there. Yeah, from all the north to the south, the whole thing.
Okay. So look, I think you're onto something. I think it needs refinement. What I don't think you should focus on it being a social platform. I think you should more focus it on it being a platform. And I can talk to you about this offline because I don't think that social is it. I think everybody, like Craigslist, do you know what that is?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So Craigslist, somebody created a Craigslist with an app in the United States and they IPO'd and they did amazing. So I think instead, if it was me, I would pivot to being an app and only an app, not online, that is a marketplace for everybody to sell their things. Because,
we have that feature, so we don't have a seller and sorry, Joy. So, and that's our thing. So we don't have a seller and a buyer. We have a user. So even myself, I'm not an online seller. I can still sell. So the social aspect of this is not, to introduce likes and tags as much as to introduce the profile of the seller. So the seller has a profile. So Craigslist, I can follow a link, but I won't see a profile. So like if you sell cars, let's say on Craigslist, I can't go into your profile and see all cars you have posted for the past year. On Dilzat, you can. And that's the difference. You know what I mean? So I can see, I'm trying my best to put sell it, like put online shops, virtual shops. I want Dilzat to become like an online virtual mall, and people just rent out these online spots, small spots, and be able to go from there. But definitely, I'm so sure we need to refine this as we go, and that's where we're trying to learn from the market as we go. And as I said, in this phase, we might switch gears like almost on a daily basis. So yeah, we're definitely dynamic with it.
Well, look, I'm shocked that you have that many downloads. I mean, honestly, I mean, Abe and I are equally impressed with the fact that you have that many downloads in 4 months. That's impressive, honestly.
Sure.
500, 700 downloads per day, and that shows me the need. Honestly, I'm as I said, like these numbers might not be the best, but it shows me that there's a big need. And to be honest with you, one of our very value propositions here that it's really worth it to mention, Joy, is you live in California, right? So what Dilzat is trying to do is, and you have, let's say, family in Palestine, but you can't come on Mother's Day. So what Dilzat is trying to do, since we have all the supply in Palestine, you can go on Dilzat from the United States and buy something, and we can deliver it there. So
I get that, but that's not a scalable thing. Okay, that's a hyper local thing. So yes, it's a great idea, but it's not a scalable thing. I think you're on to something, Jack. I just think it needs refinement. Honestly, it needs keen thinking for global expansion. I think you're on to something for sure. Okay,
Okay,
but
so
I'm a little confused whether it's working so well because it's in Ramallah, or is it working so well because it's a great idea? And I think that's something I need to look at a little deeper.
But to be honest, I truly think if an idea works in Ramallah, Palestine, I think you can scale it easily anywhere.
Not really, because of, and I'm not, this is not a political statement, because of the occupation, you don't have access to a lot of goods and services. So I think it's scalable because, you know, you're not, you don't have, I mean, I'm not being political, but you don't have access like the rest of the world does, right? You're a little bit in a lockdown. So I'm not sure if that's the reason why you have all the, again, I'm honestly, I know you reached out to me. I've been crazy busy last week, but I'm glad to sit down with you, Jack.
And real quick, guys, we gotta move on to the next contestant. So
right.
Jack, great job. And then we're gonna bring Tally and Mas to the stage. And then let's see. All right, so Tally, feel free to share your screen. And while you are doing that, I want to point out something real quick. So they're building a health platform, and we actually have our own inspirational health story. Abe actually has his own journey of health, fitness, weight loss. So this is a before and after picture. Abe, I wish we had like a ton of B-roll footage where we have you, running the stairs. I could put some Rocky music.
Yeah, I can share, but right now that's 3 years ago. So
got it. Yeah, I just want to point out congratulations. That's all. So Tally, we're gonna give you and Mas the stage. So I'll count you down. Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'll count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The stage is.
Mas, you're on mute.
Yeah, Mas, unmute yourself. So Mas, at the bottom left of the screen, there's an unmute button.
Hello?
All right, perfect. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Since I was 10 years old, when I wrote my first magazine to improve the health of my society, Tufah, the green apple, where I shared healthy recipes, I was obsessed with the importance of healthy eating. Fast forward 10 years old, I studied nutrition in the university when I became aware of the crisis in my society. The MENA region has the highest rates of diabetes in the world, and some of the highest rates of obesity in the world, over than 80% in the women in Saudi and Kuwait and Qatar. Being overweight or obese and the highest rate of diabetes in the world without a leading solution to address it. In 2003, I came back to my village. Very quickly, I realized that I could not just bring Western nutrition tools in my community. People in my village will not start eating cottage cheese and rice crackers to lose weight. We would keep eating grape leaves and manakish and maklube and our local foods, no matter what anybody told us about what we should be eating. I had to find a new solution to foster healthy habits based on local culture. And so I did the Dosat method. The Dosat method is a points-based system for the whole family that uses the nutritional content of food, nudge people towards better nutrition and lifestyle decisions. So how we do it, I leave it to my business partner, Sally.
At Dosat, we believe in the power of advanced technology, cutting-edge science, and nutrition and tradition, meaning Arabic culture, community, and cuisine, to reverse the trend of obesity and diabetes in the Arab world. We aim to be the first AI-based wellness tool in the Middle East and the leading corporate wellness solution in the region. Whoa. Hold on. Can you guys see the screen? Okay, we're a diverse team looking to use our collective talents and resources to address the Arab world's largest public health crisis. Masa spent almost 20 years as a dietitian in her community following her studies. I spent 8 years in economics and Middle Eastern studies and economic development and law. I spent most of my career in New York and Dubai and Israel, working towards growing technology and business models into emerging markets. We're part of the 500 startups portfolio via their UAE-based fund, 500 Falcons, and we have the benefit of being part of a cohort in the Riyadh, Saudi Arabia-based accelerator program. Our advisors include leading impact investors, as well as the largest franchisee of Weight Watchers in the US. And we're fortunate to have a great set of advisors, including the leading healthcare business professor at HBS at Harvard Business School, Reggie Herzlinger, and key leadership at Weight Watchers International. We're working with Harvard Medical School researchers to validate and publish our results these days. Alongside the massive problem that Mas described is an amazing window of opportunity to address this need with digital proactive tools. The MENA region has some of the highest rates of smartphone penetration and usage, with Saudis consuming 1.8 times the global average of YouTube videos, and Emiratis, Egyptians, and Saudis spending 6 to 8 hours a day on their phones. This is a massive market, anticipated to grow to $2.3 billion in the UAE and Saudi alone in 2023. Governments are now taking proactive steps, with a third of the Saudi and UAE health budgets going to the cost of diabetes. Our core value proposition is simple, is delivering results. We have over 50,000 success stories that populate our database and inform our recommendation engine. During their time with us, people lose 10% of their body weight on average, and we're very proud that 1 year later, over 75% of our participants maintain 5% or more weight loss, an important threshold associated with reduced diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Our success stories mean everything to us. I'm happy to share one now. See if I'll manage to get this. So this is Ita. I'll just share a short piece of her success.
أنا عتاب عبد الرزاق محمود غدران من سكان مدينة طول كرم. كان وزني 131 كيلو 600 جرام. خسرت من وزني 53 كيلو. فأنا كنت أعاني من المصاحة، ما أقدرش أمشي، ما أقدرش أطلع درج، كان يحوفني اكتئاب لما أروح أشتري جلباب وما ألاقيش على مقاسي، كنت الصلاة ما أقدرش أركع، كانت نسبة دمي 10 و8 شحطات، فالحمد لله هسه نسبة دم 14.5. كل الملابس أي إشي بختاره بلاقيه متوفر في كل المحلات على حجمه. هسه بمشي وبطلع درج السادس وبمشي مشاوير طويلة ومبسوطة والحمد لله تغيرت نفسيتي، وهسه أنا بنفسية وشخصية تانية عن عطاف بدران الأصلية. فأنا فخورة في إنه توفر مركز.
So we're very proud of our customers and their successes. We feel that their successes are truly our successes. Our business model is quite simple. We offer remote online support groups within our app via subscription model. We similarly offer our mobile app in a free and premium version and have opened it up recently for free during this COVID period. I'm happy to share a short demo app so you get a better sense of the feeling of it. So our app is an Arabic first app. It's available in English as well. On our app, there's a unique login screen, daily menus where people can choose their alternatives. That number 22 is the daily Dosat quota for the individual. We have a food index, rich with a variety of foods that gets populated on a regular basis. We have an in-app social community where people share their progress, their foods, their questions. We have daily unique articles. We have a cookbook. Our online groups take place within the app, and we have ongoing support within the app as well. Daily tips that Mas creates. We have also personalized push notifications based on the activities that people enter. This is our sports section of the app, where people can watch our Dosat original videos as well as track their own sports. This is the in-app social community. We have about 240,000 people in our social community. And we just launched a pilot of healthy prepared food delivery out Saudi Arabia following the demand of our customers to start preparing our recipes for them. We're now taking the success that we've delivered to our direct-to-consumer customers and targeting it towards the people who most care about the healthy outcomes. We're transitioning to focus on our B2B2C offering, whereby large corporates and employers in the region and large insurers offer Dosat services to their community and thereby can deliver large-scale, impactful reach and change. In this model, the companies become key distribution channels for the Dosat offering and participate in some or all of the customer expense in subscribing to our services. We've just gone large with one of the largest financial institutions.
So Talia, your 8 minutes is up. I have to cut you off right there. Congrats though, that was a great pitch. I'm bringing the judges to the stage and we will have a little Q&A session. Joy and Abe. Cool. Yeah, Abe, you're muted by the way. Let me just take this presentation off. Cool. So Talia, I don't think it was clear to me what markets are you currently active in right now, and what are your plans for like the next ones that you're going to bring online?
So we're active across the region. We're active in the UAE, Palestine, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. Within our 240,000 members in our social community, we do have quite a significant Egyptian, European, and American audience. We haven't really targeted them. They are active. We're really focused. Saudi Arabia for us is the most important market for us to be serving. We see a growing interest. We have added nutritionists to our platform to help support that market and constantly adding new Saudi foods. And we're starting to serve corporate customers there as well.
And how localized do you feel like you have to get for like the different foods and diets across the region? Because you know the cultures and it's very fragmented and diverse.
It's a great question. So Mas and I, as we were just discussing today, our nutritionists in Saudi are constantly adding new foods to the platform and constantly adding the calculation, both from their different brands that are well known, as well as the actual food dishes. So in Ramadan, you can see that you'll see recipes that are Gulf and Khaliji. You'll see recipes that are more Levant and Palestine. So we really do go across the region. We have not yet gone deep on the Egyptian market for that reason, because we know that that's going to be a bit of a deeper dive. We are really using the support of the crowd. People provide us with recipes. People share pictures of their recipes. There's a lot of interesting work we're starting to do to actually take the information that's provided by our community to help inform that platform.
Awesome. And I don't think did you show your attraction slide? I don't think I saw. I guess active users.
We've had about 120,000 downloads of our app over the last 2 years. We then killed a lot of them when we put up a paywall, and now we've gotten some of them back. And so right now, people tend to stay with us about 6 to 9 months on the app, and in the groups, of an average participation with us is about 13 weeks on average. And then they stay with us on the app for a couple months after, and we're kind of working on growing that tail. Our real focus today is on taking that learning from bringing the customers on directly to working through the channels of the employers.
Cool. Joy or Abe, any questions before we move on?
I'm good. We've had a session.
Offline session. Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, Tally, I think this was the question that I had last time. Like, are you actually? I mean, you're you're sort of a Weight Watchers, right, for the Middle East, but it's you're more of a localized, Weight Watchers, right? You speak the language because you're incorporating different foods, so you're making it user friendly, right? Where Weight Watchers, has. So I understand what you're doing, but I think the question that I want to ask is, are you manufacturing the food? Because Weight Watchers, they do the whole points thing, right? So they do the whole points thing for food. But are you in the future planning on selling food or packaging like any food? Is that because Weight Watchers did, the Weight Watcher meals? Is that something in the future that you're thinking about doing?
So we know Weight Watchers very well, as well as their food experience of going into that business and getting out of that business. Weight Watchers today only sells kind of light snacks and some food utensils and stuff. They got out of that business for good reason, because it wasn't their core strength. Similarly, it's not our core strength. So we're working with a cloud kitchen model. We have no interest in going into the operations and logistics involved in preparing the food, but we do have hundreds of recipes, years of knowledge of how people can prepare food more healthily. We do promotional events with restaurants. We've done that in London with one of the most popular Lebanese restaurants on how to approach Ramadan more healthily. So food is a mechanism, but we will not go into the operations of that. Our real asset is on the content and the framing and the support, and supporting that with technology that helps us target it correctly.
Because what I've noticed being in Dubai recently, what has taken off, and what I've used myself is, like most Middle Easterners, and I'm a Middle Easterner, I have no self-control. I need this is what you're going to eat on Monday. This is what you're going to eat on Tuesday. This is what you're going to eat on Wednesday, because I'm somebody personally who can't follow anything because I'm like compulsive. I got to eat. So I think the question I'm going to ask you is, your future, you're not thinking of doing anything meal plan wise, right? Because this is like a big thing in the US. It's a big thing now where they're delivering soups and they're delivering, everything where you don't have to think. You got everything prepared. Is that something that you're thinking about doing?
So that's what our pilot has been in Riyadh, and what we've seen, and it came from our customers. We talked to insurance customers and they said, well, this is very interesting, but we don't trust our employees to follow and prepare the food. And so we want them to be able to order it. And same thing with some of the large corporate customers in Dubai. And so from our perspective, doing it with a cloud kitchen is very simple for us. We've already provided them with their recipes. We don't have a whole lot to do other than the marketing component, which is significant, but we do that through the food ordering platforms or directly to our existing customers. For us, the meal plan, it's too soon for us to say if that's the direction we think we should go in. Our instinct is no. Our instinct is that any meal plan we do is building on the service, or it's a channel for getting more people to subscribe to our service. But the operations of running a kitchen are not something we're interested in doing. We do see people interested in getting their food. Okay, you're telling me here's my meal, my program in the app for 5 days. This is what you say I'm recommended to eat. Bring it to me. So if that's what people want to do, we want them to be able to get our food. But what we found in this process, and this is something that it took a lot of adjustment, because most of our meals are very simple. And that's the whole point, is that these lifestyle changes don't require you to go out and get these crazy ingredients that you don't have at home. And so for our purpose, it's really more about framing how do people talk and think about their food.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to move on to the next one. Just for time purposes, but fantastic job, Tally and Mas. I'm going to bring Yaki to the stage, our Israeli friend. Yaki, welcome. Share your screen, and then I will kick you off. All right. So Yaki, I'll give you a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Andrew, for having me here. Thank you all the judges and the other participants. It's very honored to be here. Well, we all know the expression, turning garbage into gold. We are actually doing it. We turn the wine industry waste into super flour and use it to produce delicious and highly nutritional food products. And by doing so, we hold 3 value propositions. First, our technology will increase the winery's profitability. Second, we will supply the food industry with a tasteless and highly nutritional food super flour. And third, we will meet the unmet needs of new age consumers for delicious, vegan, gluten-free, plant-based food products. First, let me please introduce myself. My name is Yaki. I'm the CEO of Nutris. In my previous position, I was the CEO of an Israeli company for 7 years, growing it from its founding to a successful acquisition. Let's go back to the wine business, which is much more interesting and fun. The wine industry is linear and not efficient. About 30% of the grapes, about 12 million tons, turns to be waste globally every year. This waste is not suitable for human consumption and it damages the environment. Wineries usually spend about $100 per ton on managing this residue. Using Nutris technology, we will turn it into a 2.5 million tons of super flour with a potential market size of over $46 billion. We will change the wine industry into circular production industry. Super flour for the food industry. Using Nutris technology, we turn the waste into a tasteless powder. I emphasize a tasteless powder loaded with proteins, dietary fibers, and minerals, a super flour. We tried it in different food types like savory snacks, energy bars, and pasta. The results were quite outstanding. Nutris improved the nutritional values of the products without compromising the flavor. In 2019, we partnered with IFF, a global supplier to the food industry, as our strategic distributors. We started also exchange notes with leading international global producers like Ferrero and Unilever. Comparing the Nutris super flour to whole wheat flour, dietary fibers content raised from 15 grams to 66 grams, and protein content raised from 16 grams for 30 grams in a serving cup of 120 grams. At the left, you can see homemade pasta added 10% of Nutris flour and yogurt cheese, labane, how we call it in this region, with a Nutris flour, the purple one. It was very delicious, I must say. For the POC, we will target new age consumers. New age consumers are 18 to 34 years old and looking for tasty and healthy snacking, the unmet needs. Sustainability is a keyword for them, and they are looking for clean label, vegan, plant-based protein food products. We will address them using direct-to-consumer platforms and providing them with savory snacks to emphasize the Nutris super flour benefits. By adding 15% of the Nutris super flour to savory snacks, we will duplicate the protein content and add 2.5 grams of dietary fibers in a snack of 28 grams. We will do that and keep this taste. The taste remains, which is much significant for the consumers. We are raising $1.5 million to complete the regulatory certification, start production, and set up the direct-to-consumer platform. Our approach is to use a scattered production model with the wineries. It will allow us a rapid expansion without high investments. It all started in 2018. Dr. Meir Schlissel, a wine researcher and a senior faculty member at the Tel Hai College, and his student, Yohanan Gerber, began to check what they can do with the wine waste. Nutris was founded in 2019. We raised $350,000 and partnered with IFF. The process, the outcome, and the applications are patent pending. We do more with less. We use less soil, less water, and the outcome is a highly nutritional, extremely sustainable, and affordable food source or food products. And this is what Nutris is about, turning garbage into gold. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Yaki. So we're going to bring Joy and Abe for questions, and then each of the judges will rank the teams 1, 2, 3, and we'll get into deliberation and see who is the winner. But Joy or Abe, any questions for Yaki? I know I have some.
Go for it, Andrew. Because you weren't on the last judging pitch. Abe and I kind of.
Well, I guess it's more just like, so when it comes to the actual machinery itself, like I want to understand the wineries that you're partnering with, like who's making what investment, and then who has upside, with who, whoever's taking risk and putting capital into it.
Well, with the wineries, the business model is quite unique. As wineries spent about $100 to get this waste out of the winery and put it in any purification plant, our offer for them is just to use the existing machinery that they have in hand in the off season of the winemaking, and using about, a few of their labor to start producing the first steps of the Nutris superflower. Then we'll take this partly produced superflower, continue producing it with this other subcontractors in the region to dry it and to maybe to do some other processes for the superflower. So basically, there is no risk, just some extra labor on the winery side, but this extra labor is is balanced by their saving the $100 spending.
So it's a process, not a machine. Like
yes.
Let me understand. So it's the process. So wineries would not need to buy anything else, right? Is that what you're saying? So it's just the process.
Just a process.
Okay.
We're just putting a different parameters to the existing machinery they have in order to start production, the first step of the Nutris flower production. It's a process.
So and how do you make money then?
After that, our raw material production would start, let's say, for the discussion, in a zero tag price. So from that point and on, we'll have to, let's say that we'll produce about savory snacks or something like that. So, and we are going to sell it to the public or to the consumers. So the margins are a little bit bigger and higher for the end products.
Okay, so you're going to take the output and then you're going to make your own food. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And is there any other industry other than the wine industry you can actually tackle this?
Yes.
I'm curious to know.
Yes. Part of our process technology can work also in the beer industry. Okay. Or any industry that has some yeast fermentation in the waste stream.
Okay. All right. I want to know more about, there's so much going on, but let me absorb what I just saw. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess Yaki, I would be curious. Like, have you had these conversations with wineries? Like, cause I know that pitch of like yeah, it's just a little bit of human labor from you. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, here's all this upside. But like, even when it's like such an obvious thing that you're trying to pitch them, the customer is still like, like, I'm already at like capacity. I don't want to hire anyone else. Like, blah blah blah. Like, have you kind of had that kind of conversation with one? Yeah.
Obviously, we had a conversation like that with all major wineries in Israel, as well as some wineries, companies, let's say, that have both wineries in Australia and in California, and they are quite interesting. They even asked us if we can treat the whole waste streams that exist in the wineries, the pomace and the lees, and obviously the answer is yes to that. And also we are exchanging notes with some Australian and South African facilities that collect the wine waste from the region and start, and do their own process before taking it to the soil or something like that, or preparing for fertilizing. So yes, we are some interests are pointing to us.
Well, Yaki, I need to fly you over here. We have so many wineries in Virginia. So you need to take a trip to DC.
In Virginia, yeah.
You can sleep on my couch, and we can visit some wineries together. It'll be fun.
Great. And also in California, in the Finger Lakes area, yeah. By the way, the United States produces about 10% of the wine, but consumes they are the higher consumers of wine in the world. So,
not surprised.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Per person, per capita, of course, obviously, yes.
Of course, yes. All right. Well, Yaki, that was a great pitch. Really enjoyed. Beyond, like, software is cool. Software is quote unquote eating the world. But like, when we can get some solutions like this that are like really, tangible, real, like, it's definitely a big fan. So great job. So here's what we're about to do, everybody. The judges, myself, Joy, and Abe are, I don't know, Abe, if Joy, you guys have a piece of paper near you, you could just use your phone. But each of us are going to take maybe 30 seconds to write down number 1, number 2, number 3 for this competition. And then we're all going to display our choices. Not every time someone is ranked number 1, they get 3 points. Number 2 is 2 points. And a 3 ranking is 1 point. And so I'm going to tally it up right after we present, and then we'll see where we're at. So I'm going to start maybe a 30-second timer right now. And
can you list the 3 names so we can spell them correctly?
Yeah. I can try to see. Hold on. Let me bring it up.
So we could spell them correctly. Otherwise, it's going to be a...
just phonetically sound it out. No, I'm just
put it in the comment.
Okay, let me see.
I hate misspelling. There you go.
So we have Finlect. Algoru is Algooru.
So you want it to be just 3? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Who do you think got first place? Who do you think got second place? Who do you think got third place?
All right.
And guys, we'll give about 30 seconds for the judges and myself to get this done. I wish I had some Jeopardy music that could play in the background, like da na 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 na. And then if you need a Joy, Dosat is Dawsat.
Which one?
Dosat.
Hold on. Put that back. Put that back.
What, this one?
Yeah, put that back. No, so we've got Dosat, Finlect, Nutris,
Algoru.
Algoru.
Yes, Algooru.
Okay.
And of course, don't forget about Dosat.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, are you good to go, Joy?
Yeah.
Are you good to go, Abe?
Give me 1 second.
Cool.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so I'm strictly looking at this as acquisition. Just want you to know that's my frame of reference. Like what?
Can you give more context? What do you mean by acquisition?
Because as an investor, I only look at something in a very clear manner, which is who's going to buy you. I always say that. Like I want to know who's going to buy you in the next 3 years. So I always look at that. That's my main barometer.
Same here. Exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So what's their end game?
That makes sense. Okay. Give me one more second, guys. Let's see. All right. I'm good to go. So Joy, ladies first.
No, I'm always going first. No, let Abe go first.
All right, Abe, you've been called out.
Oh God. No, I don't want to be. Andrew, you should go. You're hosting.
All right, that makes sense. All right, host Andrew. Fine. I'll take the. I'll fall on the sword. So here it is, guys.
Oh wow, he's got a blackboard.
Oops.
What do you got? Algoru.
I got Algoru number 1, Finlect number 2, and Dosat number 3.
Okay. Abe,
All right.
Okay, I had Algoru number 1. Wait. Number 2 I had Finlect, and number 3 I had Dosat. Not Dosat, Dosat.
Okay.
That's hard to read. I got Dosat number 1.
Finlect, Dosat.
Finlect is number 2.
Yep.
And Dosat is number 3.
Yep.
I think you have a tie.
We have a tie for the first spot, but we have a definitive top 3. So let me. All right, guys. So here is the result of the day.
What do we got?
We got Algoru in first place. Well, I guess Algoru and Finlect both have 6. Dosat coming in 3rd, and Dosat coming in 4th. So I guess technically, like, we have the top 3. That's great. Let's figure out a winner. So why don't we both say either Algoru or Finlect? For me, I think Algoru takes the first spot. Joy?
Joy's gonna go next. I went first last time.
That's a tough one for me. That's a tough one, guys. That's a real tough one.
I mean, I guess I like Algoru so much because I see the education gap that we have in the region, and like the way they're solving it.
Let me tell you why I have a problem with Algoru. Can I just tell you real quick?
Yeah.
Okay? Because it's not defensible. If I get a tutor and they come to my house, I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to keep them and not go through the app. I'm going to pay them directly in the house. So therefore, there's no defensibility. And that's the part that scares me, is that it's great. We need an education tool, but there's like when you're doing Airbnb and using other people's platforms, I love it because you can't get to the house. You don't know where the house is. You can't talk to the person unless you go through the thing. There's no exchanging phone numbers. They block it. But with this is a human being that's going to the house. It's personal. And to me, there's just no way that you can keep that person because we're Arabs. I'm going to be like, Talahon. I'm going to give you money. You don't have to go through the app. The birak leshu. So it's not defensible because there's a human to human relationship. So that's why for me, I mean, if you're going between the two, look, I look for acquisition. That's all I care about, right? Oh, by the way, the company that IPO'd is called Poshmark.
Poshmark, right. Yeah.
Billions of dollars. So, and it's the same thing. It's a platform where you get rid. So it kind of, I mean, if you're making me choose between the two, then it would be Finlect.
All right, Abe. Well, Abe gets the tiebreaker decision then. I mean, I guess in my opinion with Algoru, the defensibility is probably mostly the liquidity in the marketplace. So just having, building up both sides of the marketplace, demand and supply, and having that liquidity is not an easy thing.
It's just a defensibility. It's an issue. I mean, because, I'm just telling you, Middle Eastern people, they're just going to cut out the app and give the guy a little extra money to just deal with.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm actually between the both. I'm like, I like the model because it's very scalable, and edutech is becoming very, very popular these days, especially with all these lockdowns and COVID and all that. But I can see them selling off the business quickly to like a bigger player. But I think in IP and like the whole idea of creating financial literacy, I think that's something that is really new, and it's very straightforward. And I think I'm going to have to vote for them, for Finlect as well.
All right. Well, congratulations, Monica. I'm not sure if you. Yep. Congratulations, Monica. Did you prepare a victory speech?
No, I did not actually. But
that's okay.
I do want to say thanks, guys. Thank you for showing the faith, and hopefully we'll make you super proud.
Yeah, you already have, Monica. You already have. So, Khalid, I'm bringing you as well. Congrats. Or you're muted, Khalid. You're muted.
Yeah, Khalid's muted.
You're muted. I'm sure you're giving a fantastic speech right now. It's super. Yeah.
I just noticed. I was just saying, congrats, Monica. I wanted to jump right in and give the defensibility strategy, but I didn't get the chance to. But thank you guys for the opportunity. It was a pleasure. And congrats again for Monica.
Awesome. And then finally, Jack, huge congrats to you as well. You're also on mute. Do you have the team with you again?
Oh, yeah!
There. Yeah. Awesome.
My advice to your team is take a look at Poshmark, people.
We win.
You got it.
I also know the founder personally, but I thought
that's great. No, for sure we will.
Awesome. Congrats, Jack.
Thank you,
and thanks you all for tuning in. This is the culmination of our 6-week community activation of the Middle East and North Africa startup ecosystem. We've had 6 fantastic podcast episodes featuring everybody from Rani Mushakwar, Sameh Tokin from Maktub, all the big players in the Middle East. We've had some great episodes published. And join us on Tuesday where we do our virtual summit, unpacking all the major themes from the podcast episode. We'll have some more Shark Tank style pitch from the finalists today. And you can register your email at ecosystemarabia.tv. Thanks everyone for tuning in.